We are looking for the elephant. I just spotted one there in the thick stuff, but not anywhere sort of good to view yet. So let's come have a look at these guys. Buffalo enjoying the mud. Beautiful grass here. I mean, this looks like a little patch of Serengeti almost. Okay, buffalo doing what we all know if we've been on many drives by now. Buffalo like to do when it's hot. Taking it easy next to the water. If this is maybe one of your first drives, maybe this is your first drive you're joining with us. Hope you're going to enjoy it. In fact, I'm sure you are. We're now going to that magic part of the afternoon. What's it now? 4:30 African time or South African time. We've got an hour and a half of game drive left and about an hour before sunset. So this is when things start getting active. The lions that we were with earlier could maybe get active in the next half an hour or so. I'm going to be heading there soon. It's going to give these Ellies a bit of time if they come and drink. If they're still taking their time, I might be heading for the lions, and then HT perhaps can come and have a look at these Ellies. It's going to be stunning when they come down to drink. Let's see what... Making little waves in the wind. What a perfect place to be. Let's go have a look. I think we might be getting closer to elephant time again. Hello Angela, all the way from Bangkok if I've got it right. Angela, great question. Thank you asking if I've ever had a favorite animal in the bush that I've spent time with. Whew. Well, I'm just going to stop here and we'll just talk until the end of game drive. There won't be any more driving around because I'm going to tell you about all of them. Angela, that's a tough question in the sense that I've had many favorite animals, but I'll try and summarize it in about a minute or so because the Ellies are just coming out as I was hoping they would. And this is about to become excellent elephant time. So, Angela, in this place alone, Djuma alone, I've had two big favorite animals. The one is still around, Karula, the mother of those two young leopard males that we're seeing often at the moment. And the other one, well, I've actually got three now. The other one is a bull elephant called Wonky, and I'll tell you some stories about him later, but just look at this. A fantastic bull elephant. He's dead now, unfortunately. He died from a fight with another elephant. But I did enjoy him very much. He became as close to as you can get with, or as close to as you can come to making friends with an elephant. Wonky, many of you that have been coming on drives for a long time will remember him. And then my new favorite is that youngster in this herd that's been giving us such nice interactive experiences. Look at this nice head shaking movement here. Nice, very swaggering walk there. This is the beautiful female. This one as well. Oh, guys, how awesome is this? Right next to us. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, let's get down to the water because that's where they're heading. And I want to go get ringside seats. I wonder where Hayden is at the moment. Unfortunately, there's a problem with the Game Drive radio channel. It would be lovely if HT can come and join us here because this is going to be beautiful. Sorry, there's a ditch. Oh, stunning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them it seems. Buffalo there as well, not moving much. He's not normally too much sort of interaction between them and buffalo. Elephants sometimes get into a playful mood and might chase the buffalo away just because they can. Sorry, we stopped at a very precarious angle here. Just wanted to wait for them to pass us and then I'll go around to them as well. It looks like they want to go drink on the other side of the water. I think maybe because of the wind. Look at that. Having a look at those buffalo, saying, hey, what are you guys up to? They're surrounding the buffalo. This is what you call a bullhorn hunting formation. Just kidding. But the car did give them a little head shake there, but nothing serious. Oh, this is beautiful. Stunning light, stunning setting, great herd of elephants. Right here in front of Woitela Lodge. I don't think you can ask for anything more than this at the moment. Funny, but elephants love to drink on that little sort of little corner there. See where they're heading at the moment. Maybe they're going to drink. Just going to stop opposite them. We'll get ourselves a bit level. Okay. That's good. Oh, great light. This is any photographer's dream. It's a great thing when you've got animals drinking water. Not only is it a nice behavior to experience, because I think we can all associate with being thirsty and how nice it must feel after a hot day of walking around the bush, finally getting to the waterhole and enjoying that drink. It's always a beautiful activity to see, but also you get that feeling of happiness with them. Sucking the water up into the trunk, blowing it back into the mouth. Well, couldn't have hoped for better timing. You've maybe just joined us in the last minute or two. We saw this elephant herd. I'm a bit excited. I'm talking faster than my mouth can keep up with. Saw this elephant herd a little bit earlier. And it was nice to watch them in the bush and had a bit of interaction from a few of them. And I was just hoping that we would actually get them drinking round about this time, and it has worked out perfectly. Great sound as well, if you just listen while they're drinking. You hear the splashing in the water, kicking of the mud, slurping of the water, and a bit of spillage when they drink. Stunning. And as soon as they've had a good drink, this is what could follow. It's been a nice warm day, so a bit of mud bathing at the end of a day like this, it's just bliss. She's making the perfect mixture of mud and water there. And you can see her getting literally at almost every spot. Just a little bit of a dry area still on top of her head and her back. But there you go. One side, then the other side, under the belly, on the back just now as well. I think she's going to make sure she covers it all. There we go, on the back. Now again, I often feel like elephants do this because it's nice. They enjoy it. It feels good. But it does also help to keep them cool or to cool them down. Elephants don't sweat like we do, so by spraying water and spraying mud on their skins, they get that evaporative cooling, so it does cool them down. And then also, of course, helping a little bit to get rid of some exoparasites. Elephants don't really have a big problem with flies and ticks and things like buffalo would, but still helps with that as well. Once again, difficult to decide where to look. There's a young one, a few of the other elephants starting to walk into the water. I'm hoping for a bit of play here, so let's see what happens. This one was just venturing in. I thought at one stage he might actually walk through the water to the other side. Looks like he's wearing boots now. Glistening now with the wet mud. Looks like a bronze statue almost. Well, more good news. Oh, look at the little guy. Like, come on, you grown-ups, don't just stand there and spray the mud, just get down into it. I think this is our youngster. This is the guy. Difficult now. I didn't take specific notes the other day. I should have, but it looks like him, but it might not be. I'm not gonna... Sorry, the bit of good news I was referring to, nothing big, but I'm just hearing some squirrels that are alarm calling further here behind us into the drainage line. So squirrels calling at this time of day, often an indication of a dappled cat that might be about. But that won't bother elephants. They're big, they don't have to worry about the cats. They can just get down to the good stuff in life. Having a drink when you're thirsty, and a mud bath when you're hot. Well, we're going to stay with them for a bit, see if this youngster gets up to any more antics, and also keep our ears alert for what that squirrel might be calling for. And that's how you do a mud bath. Get down and dirty, get right in there. You see? Look at this. Wow! Sorry, it's difficult where to look, what to do. I thought this big female was going to go all the way down, but for now just onto her, well, onto her wrist really, but looks like her knees. I thought she was going to follow the example of the youngster. I could almost show you, but that youngster has just stopped again. So let's watch these ones. They are playing, but one of the elephants almost went into the water to cross the water. The one that's a bit to the side here. Pam, you're just asking if elephants can swim. Yes, they can. They're quite good swimmers, actually. This one was going to swim across. Sorry, but now he's walking on that. There he goes now. It's the young male, and he was feeling a little bit separated from the herd, and he wanted to cross the water, but then he decided he had other business to attend to. It looks like he's going to take the long way around. But Pam, they're quite good swimmers. In this area, it's not something they do all the time, because we don't have, I mean, in this area that we're in specifically, I mean, not in Greater Kruger, but elephants that live in like the Okavango Delta or in places where there's big river systems, they would often swim to cross rivers. Keeping in mind also they can cross many rivers without actually having to swim. They can go quite a long way while walking, even if they're touching the bottom and sticking the trunk up to breathe like a snorkel. I've seen them cross deep rivers where they're actually just walking across, but they can swim. This little guy looks like he's up for a bit of fun. Back to his mud wallow from earlier. Let's see if he gets down and dirty again. Or down and dirtier maybe. Yay! Oh, that must feel so nice. You can feel that they're feeling happy, that they're enjoying this. Great to be able to share in it, to view it without bothering them and without them being bothered by us. That's what I love about this area. The great part here is the mother elephant doesn't have to worry about bath time, because this is bath time. This is done. So I've got two little kids at home. My son is 6 months old and my daughter approaching 4 now. And Leash and my wife is taking care of bath time at the moment, but put it this way, I'm glad my boy or my girl doesn't go and do this just before bath time. But for the Ellies, this is it. This is part of how they care for their skin, how they keep themselves cool, how they exfoliate in a very serious way. Later on they'll go and rub up against the tree like we saw earlier on against that marula tree. One of these females was just scratching her backside. All part of how they keep themselves clean. That's what I always say when we come back from the beach or from the sand dunes and my kids are full of sand. I always say, but it's clean dirt. They're not dirty, they just have clean sand on them. Same with elephants, they're actually very clean animals. Well guys, I think we're building up to a very exciting afternoon because we've got great ellies here. We've got those lions still lying around. I was going to go there, but you know, these elephants are just stunning. I'm going to stay with them a bit more. I'm sure you feel the same. And I think Hayden's going to go back to those lions for us and give us an update soon. And also hopefully catch them as they get active, as they get into the evening. And you know, if they're hunting, they're moving back into this area. The Pride of Lions hunting is a very exciting thing, if it happens. I mean, they might still be lying around for another hour or two. But if they get on the hunt, then maybe I'll go join HT and have a look at what they're up to. But we've got a good afternoon ahead of us. We've got about an hour of game drive left. Big breeding out of elephants. Buffalo bulls still sleeping in the mud here. And hopefully soon some news on those lions from HT. So lots happening. The squirrel has stopped calling. But just because the squirrel is still there. Okay, let me just rewind that quickly. Just because the squirrel has stopped calling doesn't mean the leopard has left. That's what I was trying to say. So lots to look forward to. And thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us here in Africa. It's going to be a good afternoon. Let's have a look at this guy. Sorry, I know there's ellies going on, but you could hear that call. It's a bit of a strange call. Hello, Marsha. Just quickly, while we're looking at the ellies, we will try and show you just now what you're asking about. But just asking about the nostrils of an elephant's trunk, or that's sort of the same thing, the nostrils in the elephant's trunk. That's a grey heron, and it's the call you heard, that yeah, just before we went to look at him. Lots of bird life coming down to the water now as well. With the elephant's trunk, it is actually two nostrils, and they run as two separate tubes, if you want, up to the top of the base of the skull, so they don't merge into one chamber later on. Okay, we're just going to move slightly. Oh, look at that last light catching her. Even an elephant's backside can look beautiful in light like that. Not that I'm saying that elephant doesn't have a nice backside, because if she understood that, then I don't know if I want to go back there again. She might be upset. All right. Let's get around the front of them. I do prefer the front view. Okay, just going to look at these guys quickly. A couple of little birds having a drink here. These are crested francolin, one of my favorite birds in the bush. That's great to hear. Guys, just on the Twitter feed, some of you saying that it's bringing tears to your eyes. And you know what, I'm very happy when I sit with elephants like this. Just me personally, I love it. And then to hear that you guys are enjoying it as well, that almost brings tears to my eyes. So thank you for letting us know. It's always great to hear feedback like that. And great to know you guys are enjoying it. And it's just big thank you to you. Yes, every one of you, every single one of you that have been here for years, and every single one of you that's maybe just joined us. Thanks so much. It is such a pleasure and such a privilege to be able to do this, to share this with you. And do remember that without you, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be sharing this. So thank you. And I really do mean that. And I'm going to stop now, otherwise I'm going to get tears in my eyes. And then I'm a big, tough African man. We don't cry. Unless my daughter says hello. On game drive when I'm missing her terribly. I miss my family. I've got an amazing wife, great two kids. They love wildlife. My daughter loves wildlife. Elephants, she can mimic a bunch of animals already. Hippo, zebra, lion a little bit, jackal. I think we just sit here for the moment and just see where these ellies are heading. And also keep in mind we should have an update on some lions for you. If all goes well, you can't promise because it's the wild, things can change. But lots of things happening in the last part of this drive, I have a feeling. Well observed, Grace. Just commenting there on some of those elephants that were hanging their trunks over their tusks earlier. One of the females, in fact it might have been this one doing it earlier, just nudging the youngster along. She's like, come along. Oh, there we go, exactly what he's... It's a bit selfish of mum there. The youngster wanted to have a little scratch after his mud bath. Remember earlier I said they get this mud on them and then they have a little rub. But mum was like, move along, I want this tree. It's a very nice tree that elephants love rubbing up against it. It's a marula tree, but it's at this bit of an angle so they can really get sort of into the side of their chests and bellies. Look at that, having a good old scratch. But Grace, yeah, it's fairly common that elephants do that, where they hang their trunks over the tusks. But generally speaking, only big elephants, obviously because the tusks need to be big enough. You see it often with big male elephant, and with male elephant it can also be a very subtle sort of dominance behavior, you know, just sort of to show another elephant, look how big my tusks are, I can hang my trunk over it kind of thing. And other times just because they want to relax the trunk a little bit. Oh, that's the good scratch. Oh yes, get right in there. Amazing how dexterous and well balanced they are. I mean, she's a big elephant. She probably weighs 4 tons, maybe more. That's about 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 pounds in that region. Up on one leg, quick. Get a scratch there. Entertaining animals, elephants. Always something going on. Those two are having a scratch. These ones are having a dust bath. The happy lives of the world's largest land mammal. They're all taking their turns. Those are moving along. This is the other female now, using the same tree. And you'll see when she walks away, there you can see the tree trunk. This is not the first time or the second time. This is the many hundredth or many thousandth of time that an elephant has come for a good scratch there. I just have a good look there. You see where her back is relative to the tree trunk. And we'll see those rubbing marks just now as well. Just take a note of it. I'll tell you in a few minutes why. Even the chest, all those difficult to reach places. This is the perfect tree for this. She goes. I want to go show you something quickly. We're going to stay with them. They're just moving up the road. But there's something I'd like you to have a quick look at. give an idea of the height. Now keep in mind, up there, the shoulder was much taller than this. This is where they were scratching the sides of their bodies. And you can see the mud here. In fact, you can even see the tree trunk itself has been rubbed smooth over time. Just by coming up and going, oh, that's the spot, yes. Actually, that feels really good. And then the other one and the other one. I'm not going to do all of them. Some of those poses were not something I think I can do on the live broadcast. Let me see if I can put my foot. No, let's just leave it at that. Guys, but this just gives you an idea of the scale of it. And what I love about this as well is you really get the sense of, this is not the first time that Ellies have done this. You know, you can really, just looking at this tree trunk, you can see they've been here many, many times. Where's your thumb guy?
The thumb?
The thumb. Show me the thumb. That's just such a nice black mud. This, I was trying to give him a little suit. It's just perfect black mud. It just looks so nice. I'm just in a happy mood, guys. We just had such a lovely experience with these Ellies. Really, you know, there's things you hope to see, and seeing elephant are always great, just because they're great animals, they're intelligent. But to really get this sort of beautiful behavior, beautiful light, perfect time of day, playing young elephant, it's just brilliant. You know, you can't buy that. You can only experience it. Let's go spend a couple more minutes with them. Well, they're moving along. A little bit of dust bathing going on. Guys, we're just looking at those elephants where they were rubbing up against that tree. They've had a good scratch. And these last ones in the back are just having a bit of a dust bath. Basically just taking that mud that they had in their bodies and then spraying a bit of dust over it, creating a nice sort of muddy, dusty layer over the skin. Good afternoon, Mackenzie, or shall I say good morning? I think it's about 11 o'clock or so in Virginia at the moment. Mackenzie, you're about the same age as my daughter. She's turning 4 in August, so great to have you on the game drive. Always special to have kids on the game drive, because I think kids, even more so than adults, they can so easily just transport themselves here and just come and enjoy the wildlife and experience it with us. So Mackenzie, great to have you on game drive. And a great question as well. Mackenzie is just asking, do elephants rinse their trunks out after they've had that mud bath? After they've had all that mud, because obviously they suck the mud up into the trunk and then they spray it back onto their bodies. And you know what, Mackenzie, I've never thought about that. It just shows you how well you were thinking about what's going on here. How you were putting yourselves in that elephant's shoes, or feet, shall we rather say. And I'm sure you like playing with mud as well, so maybe that's why you're thinking about it. And I think, yes, I'm sure they would. It would make sense. They don't want to drink mud, they want to play with mud, they want to drink water. So it does make sense to me that they would rinse their trunk out once or twice before they drink water. Great question, Mackenzie, and big welcome on the game drive. Guys, just let us know a little bit via email or Twitter, #SafariLive to tweet, questions at WildEarth to email. How many of you are watching this game drive at this moment with your children, whether you're in a schoolroom or with your kids, grandkids? I know many of you take your grandkids along and game drive with us, and I absolutely love that. And I know HT as well. Both of us are fathers, and we both, you know, I think anyone that's passionate about anything, especially something as amazing as wildlife, that passion is so easy to share with kids, because kids just, they get into it, you know, they enjoy it, they're not afraid to say, yeah, that's awesome to see elephants swimming in the water. You know, adults, we tend to be a little bit more sort of composed. Kids are much more free with their expression and their experience. And I'm getting to the point of, let us know if you're watching this at the moment with your grandkids or your kids or your brother or your sister or your classroom mates. Just give us an idea. I'd like to get an idea of how many kids are on Game Drive with us. I'm not really sure what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just sort of driving along. Those Ellie's went off into thick bush there, and I think we've had a great time with them. I don't want to go in there after them now. I'm also hoping that HT is getting close to those lions. I hope they haven't moved, but I'm sure you can track them down. You know, HT knows a thing or two about the bush and about animals, that's for sure. So let's take another question or two, and I'm going to go look around for leopard up there. Julie, again, behavioral notice there. Really great when you guys are watching what's going on, and then if you're seeing a bit of behavior that maybe I didn't mention or we didn't see, and you ask about that. I really do enjoy that. So Julie, great question from Ohio. If elephants are swinging their front foot, now elephants do that sometimes, so they stand and then the one foot they'll pick up and they do sort of this lazy sort of swing of the foot. Now for me, it often shows a bit of almost indecisiveness, almost like there's two elephants standing there and the one is sort of doing that. He's like, well, am I going to play with this one or not? Am I going to ignore him or not? Am I going to give him a fright or not? It's a little bit like sort of, what am I going to do next? At other times, it depends on how it's being moved. At other times, elephants try and make themselves tall. They try and lift themselves up as much as they can. And then they would lift the one foot off the ground in doing so. But that's normally more in the sort of posture type behavior. The sort of, look at me, I'm big and tall kind of thing. So if we see it again, maybe not to these guys now, I've left them for now, but if we sit with the Ellies again and we see it specifically, Julie, give me a quick shot and I'll explain hopefully what's happening at that time as well, but well observed. Okay, we're going to have to do this just because it's beautiful. We've got that heron from earlier just standing in a beautiful place with the light around him. Just have a little look at that area, it's beautiful. Post sunset, just that color in the sky. And then we are going to be heading up towards quarantine and see what those squirrels were calling about earlier. Maybe there's something moving around, getting ready for the night hunting. That's gorgeous. Best time of the day. This and the equivalent time in the morning. Well, this is a question, John, that we'll be talking about many times over the next couple of months. Myself and HT have spoken about it quite a few times. Also Scott, Brent, and Stefan will talk about it over the ensuing couple of months following from now. As it gets drier, there will be a few other waterholes. John was just asking, are there any permanent waterholes for when these other holes start drying up? Now, Most of them will just dry up, and that's it. They will dry up. But a couple of the places, like at Djuma here, they've got a smaller water hole that they can actually pump water into, partly to provide water for animals, obviously, but also if it gets that dry, the game viewing is phenomenal anywhere where there is water, as you can well imagine. So there will be water going into the dry season here, even once the water hole is dried up. But then it's just a little place that they pump. So the kind of thing that a herd of elephant like this could just empty out, but then they'll fill it up again. So I can promise you a few things, and one of those is that in the next few months you are going to see very, very good game drives around here. Lots of wildlife because of the dry conditions of the coming winter. Great, guys, thank you for the massive response here. That's beautiful. Just saying that many of you are watching with what is there? Some birds flying across here. Woodoo-poos. Just letting us know that many of you are watching with your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren even, and furry children, cats and dogs. I know many of you are great pet lovers as well. I think pets are great. If it's possible, obviously, if you have the time and the space. We've got 3 dogs at home. Not big dogs, but they're not small. They're about, Shay is about 30-something kilograms, about 70, 75, 80 pounds maybe, and Nandi. And I'll give you one guess what my third dog's name is. One or two of you might be able to guess it, that have known me for a long time. What's one of my favorite animals of all time that has a beautiful name? It sort of goes nicely with Queen of Djuma. But yeah, dogs and cats, especially dogs. I'm a big dog person. Great to grow up, and especially dogs and children. They make a great combination as well. My daughter is her best friend is Shay. My third dog's name is actually Karula, named after the one and only. And Nandi is named after similar name to Tandi, the other female Karula's daughter, which means beautiful. Was also the name of Shaka Zulu's mother. Guys, just going to get through the dip here. I am now on a mission to look for leopard. It's leopard time, that time of the day when the shadows are getting long. In fact, the shadows have taken over. The night is coming and the hunters are out. Speaking of hunters, Hayden has been able to catch up with a few, so enjoy it, and we'll see you back here in a bit again.
We looked everywhere. We went back to the place that they were, and we couldn't see them anywhere. And sure enough, we went round, and VM said, "Why don't we try around the other side on another road?" And sure enough, there they were. So we found our lines again. Because Pete spent that incredible time with those elephants, we thought it was a good idea to maximise our chances of seeing these guys a bit more active. For me to come back over here, I really wanted to see these guys, but it was one of those sort of dilemma situations. But we want to bring the best content to you always, so here you go, have a look at these beautiful guys. They're much more active, much more awake now. Well, some of them anyway. Folks, you may hear another radio and some voices in the background. We have another vehicle with us, and that's what you just might hear. Aren't they magnificent? So this is the time where lines have just become active. You can see the posture of that female that that VM has in shot now. It's a real posture of just keeping an eye out, just listening, just keeping tabs on everything that's going on. And if VM just tilts up a little bit and goes to the left, that female down there exactly the same. Very, very alert, comfortable, relaxed, but very alert. Those two, you can just see that little head turn. Any single thing that moves will attract their attention. And we are in a beautiful position here. Fantastic place to be. So very, very fortunate we came around that way. Here we go. Just having a stretch, or we're just having a look. Mama. She just stood up quite briskly. You will see the body posture change dramatically. If she sees a prey animal, she'll drop her head. She'll drop her head. And if she sees movement there, she'll drop her head and she'll just slink off around to the left of that tree, I'd imagine, if it's walking the other way there. So she's very alert. I would say that what happens now is if she gives the next stage of alertness, then everyone else will prick their ears up as well. So if she moved off it in a sort of stealthy position there and went to go behind that foliage off to her left, everyone would pay attention. Individual right in front of me is only about 3 meters away from us, and she is just also being slightly more alert. No, false alarm. False alarm. Now what we might see here is we might see some sort of yawning behaviour. If they haven't already been through it, they might start to sit up and yawn, lots and lots of big yawns, and that really does give the indication that they're on the move. I'm just going to roll forward a little bit to let these other folks come a bit closer. So just bear with me, folks. So I was just telling the other vehicle that they can come up a little bit closer. Sometimes cats get that sort of fur ball or something stuck in their throat, and you'll get that behaviour as well, where they'll regurgitate something that they eat a lot of bone, they could have had something go up his nose then, fly, anything. So you start to get this yawning, these small yawns that'll start to happen. Well, that says it all. But they're a little bit more active than they were before. Gilly in Milwaukee, Wisconsin has a question for us, and great to have you with us, Gilly. Wants to know that, telling us that, from what people perceive from the movies, and that you think that you have a male that dotes over his cubs and, is the sort of bastion of the family pride and so on. The sort of head of the pride. Well, the male does. The male is the one that protects the pride from other males, and sometimes there's a couple of males that do it. There's a lot of tender little moments with cubs and adults alike, but overall the males have got. They don't have the hugest tolerance for cubs. They'll let them play with their tail or something a bit and move around them and stuff, and then they give them a little swat normally, or a little facial expression, or a little growl to move away. They certainly don't stand for any cubs coming anywhere near them when they're feeding. They'll let them know what the order of eating manners is at the kill. That's for sure. So, but look, I mean, males are, that females just looked up, males are generally there to protect the pride. They are the head of the pride, but at the same time there's a slight hierarchy in the females. You're going to have one that's more experienced than the others and older and so on, but generally speaking, the males tolerate the youngsters up to a point, and then they give them a little bit of a lesson about where they should fit into the pride. Thank you very much for your question. Excuse me. Folks, just please excuse me, I'm just going to talk to one of the other guides just to let them know what's the story. My radio has got bad comms. Would you be able to just let people know where the site is, please, mate? Okay, no problem, mate. Just no worries. Thanks, mate. Thank you. I missed that. So just letting the other guide know, because my radio is, my game drive channel is not very, very good where I am right now. I just want to let other guides know that I'm the only vehicle on location, so 2 other vehicles could come in if they wanted to. So it's just a really nice thing to do and make sure everyone knows about these lines and where they are. Detrimental to a lion's hunt, because the wind's swirling around and putting the scent of the lion everywhere, and a lot of animals end up picking up the scent of the lions and just running off. So great question, John. Thank you very, very much, and great to have you on board. Hi Jean, all the way from Los Angeles. It's fantastic to have you on board on the east coast of the US, and a beautiful city you live in too. I just wanted to answer Jean's question. Jean wants to know if I've numbered all the pride and counted the 8 that we were supposed to have, and I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I only got 7, so excuse me. We're going to have to really try and figure out what's happened to this other individual, and whether it was something that happened this morning in that skirmish up at on Cheetah Cut Line. But I'll definitely talk to Scotty and Steph and everyone that we can to find out what that potential mishap was, or where that other individual is. Definitely try and find out for you, and we'll get back to you. Thank you very, very much for your question. Just rearranging a few things in the vehicle, folks, just to make sure before the darkness sets in we're all organised. It's always good to do before it gets dark, and we can make sure we know where our spotlight is and all that sort of thing. And the light is definitely dropping. It's quite a beautiful temperature now. It's definitely dropped down. You start to see these animals. You just saw that individual there, the lioness that's close to us, yawn. Now I want to see if this starts to have a knock-on or a domino effect. Please excuse a little bit of scratching around here, folks. We're just setting up our spotlight. The light's still fine. But I just want to make sure we're ready to go so we don't have to mess around in the dark. But yeah, she yawned, and I just want to start to see, it's normally a bit of a chain reaction. You get one yawn and then the other one will yawn, and they might get up then and have a nice sort of greeting with each other. Hello, my girl. Aren't you beautiful? Let's just watch this and see if we get a couple more yawns going on. I think this female is instigating a move, or she might just plonk down, but it looks like she's instigating some form of move. Changing her location, looking out the other direction as well. And going back down. There's a yawn. Another yawn. So this female's starting to yawn as well. Excuse me, folks, I'll just have a drink of water. It's been a bit of a hot one today. Oh, I needed that. John in Connecticut, great to have you, and just a quite good sort of pertinent question about this pride and what's going to happen to their future. What pride is potentially going to be the one, or what males could be the ones that push this pride out? And the prediction is the Matimba males, who are thought to be the Matimba pride, thought to be the parents of this this lot. So they will probably be the ones that move this pride out. Watch this boy now, see if he yawns. Really nice. There's a little bit of behaviour. Look, there we go. This is where it all starts to happen. Another yawn maybe. It's just walking down. So we are still with our Nkuhuma pride, and we're going to go down a little bit closer. We'll stick with them till close, folks. It's all they are just starting to get active. There's a little bit of social interaction going on here. Head rubbing, yawning, lying up next to each other. Hello, my boy. It's okay, my boy. You stay right where you are, buddy. You're so fine. And they do this. They stand up. They move to another position, and they end up just moving to another spot. Just got another vehicle coming, folks. So what I'll do is just give this person some space. It's okay, my boy. It's okay, tiger. Well, lion. It's okay, buddy. It's okay, my boy. There you go. So, I'm just going to put a very soft light on here, folks. Very soft. It's just a soft light. It's only a few LEDs that just give a bit of a wash over the area, and I don't want to put it all over the others down there at the moment because it's just not quite dark enough. But it's just a little bit of light to see. This is a youngster. This is a juvenile. They're all starting just ahead of me down further. They're starting to get a little bit more active now. You'll start to see these interesting interactions that occur. Just down a bit further, VM, there's the females starting to move off. Just down here, a couple of the females have just moved off. I think the others will follow. So what I'm just trying to do now is orientate myself to figure out which way we're going to drive to try and find them crossing the next road. Another individual moving off. Still the big male just lying there. Another female. Oh, sorry, the male's moved off. Another male. The male is still there. This youngster's just gotten up next to me. So what I think we might do is just move up with them. Just seeing the lights there. Nice big yawn as well. Just moving off into the bush. So I'm looking at where they're walking to and the direction that they're walking. I think we may have to go around and drive a little bit further. We've still got this boy here. You can just see him. I know it's very dark, folks. I just want to make sure that's exactly what I was waiting for, the lights of the other vehicle, which I'm really thankful they did that to get our angle and so on. That's fantastic. Copy. Copy. Not sure if we can light that any more than we are, folks, just for the animals' welfare. We've just got a soft light on it here. I know it's the back of his head, but at the same time he wants to know where his females went, and I think he might have let them go off and have a bit of a hunt. I am looking at my watch. We've got about 13 minutes to go, or 12 minutes to go or something. I'm in a bit of a dilemma whether to go around and see if these animals cross a road, or whether we follow or stick with this guy. I think we're going to take a chance. They're definitely not coming back this way, and the others have gone right around. So what I'm going to try and do is drive around and see if we can cut them off, not cut them off, intercept them. Okay, folks. Thank you, my boy. Beautiful. While I reposition, I think it's probably the best idea that we go across and to see Pete and what he's up to. I'm going to try and get around the other side. I didn't want to follow them through that vegetation. It's just going to make a lot of noise and upset their hunt, basically. I'm going to try and cut around and see if we can pick them up another way. So while we do that, let's go and see what Pete's up to, and we'll come back to see you before the end.
Well, evening is upon us. Just the last sort of memories of it lingering on the horizon to the west. Those lions are a little bit lazy, you know, that's the benefit of being a lion. You don't really have to go anywhere if you don't want to. Lovely scene here. And a little bit of activity. I believe they're yawning a bit and stretching a bit. You know, the little bits of things lions start to do before they get active, but they can take another 5 minutes or they can take another 2 hours before they do anything. But I'm sure HT gave you lots of information on them and got to know the group quite well, just spending so much time with them. We've been bumbling around, looking here, looking there, haven't really found anything specific. And we are now almost back here at Gari Dam again, where we had those amazing elephants earlier, which was certainly from the Jigga side, from our side, highlight for the afternoon. And we've got about, well, not that much time left actually, 8 minutes or 7 minutes or so for the drive. And I'm going to do one last run around quarantine, see what might be out and about. I just can't help it. Always have to stop for this view. You know, I've stopped on this wall. If I have to count all the Wild Earth days and all the game guiding or game ranging days with Djuma, I don't even know how many times I would have to guess, but certainly a few thousand times. And yet I can never drive past here, especially at this time of the day when you've got this beautiful last reminders of the day just lurking on the horizon. You can't just drive past, you have to stop. You have to take a breath. Yo, did you hear that?
That was close.
That was a bat. You can actually see it flying. There it's going again. You can see there's a bat. But it came so close past us, I thought it hit something actually. I thought it flew into the antenna or something. But yeah, just a beautiful view. The waterhole, a few lights there from Boyatela Lodge. We have a minute or 2 or 3 or 7 to be precise left. See if we still find something for a last little surprise at the end of drive. Those lions were being lazy, as I said, not going anywhere, and I'm sure Hayden also gave you all the different possibilities about what they can do. But in the end, you know what? In the end, they do what they want to do, when they want to do. And that's the beauty of being out in a wild area like this, where animals still live the way they've lived for millennia. Since before we can remember time. Let's see, maybe we can bump into Q for a little exclamation at the end of drive. That's the beauty of the drive as well. You know, we say this all the time. I used to say it a lot, and I should actually say it more again because it is one of my favorite little sort of catchphrases. But you never know what's going to happen next. You never know what's around the next bend, and that's so true. I mean, we could come around that corner just past that bush, and there's a leopard walking down the road, and that's truly the beauty of the game drive. Is that the possibility of anything exists all the time. And this afternoon we had a great delivery of that with those elephants. Great to find Ellie. It's always nice to spend time with them. Had some nice interaction, but hoping that they would go drink just before sunset, and they did pick the perfect time. I mean, the lighting when they were drinking was just phenomenal. It really just highlighting how beautiful they are, and really, as many of you commented, you know, we had lots of feedback even later on in the drive. Guys, thanks so much for all the feedback. It's always great to hear from people having a good time with us. But just a great experience with those Ellies. I loved it, you guys loved it, we all loved it. The lions, fantastic as well, getting a little bit active now. And unless we bump into a leopard, for which we'll certainly get you back here on the jigger, I think we're going to send you back to HT just now. Go have a look at those lions for the last few minutes. Maybe there's a nice big yawn or a little play or two before the end of drive. Brian, always thank you. Nice being on the vehicle with you. And for myself, Peter Pretorius, guys, thank you very much for joining us here in Africa on the drive. We will see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early, for the sunrise safari. See you later.
Well, folks, we've just come down on the other side of where those lions were. They're walking through this area here somewhere, and it's anyone's guess. But I'm just going to keep this on the road there so VM can keep an eye on it as well while I look at the camera. But I've got a last question from Amy Clark in Surrey. Hi, Amy. Great to have you on board. And Amy wants to know, if you want to know what our biggest danger is here, well, our biggest danger is probably on an animal side of things, is putting yourself in the wrong position, either with elephants or potentially lion. Did you hear that? There you go. There's a kudu. Kudu barking. That means those lion are just there. Hear that? That's a kudu. That kudu is making an alarm call. It's picked up the pride. They are just in that area, just in there. So they're definitely up here somewhere. I'm just going to move up a little bit, folks. So Amy, the most dangerous thing is getting yourself into that wrong position with elephants or lion, but mainly elephant. That's what you've really got to watch out for. And you've got to give them a really nice wide berth and just respect them and watch their body language and their behaviour. Thanks so much for being on board, Amy. It's great to have you with us, matey. Definitely in there somewhere. And what a lovely thing to finish on, folks, that you know, I'm just going to keep it on there because you can see if they cross the road, you heard that bark, you heard that excuse me, you heard that vocalization from that kudu, and that was that kudu picking up either noise or scent of the lion and setting that alarm call out. So they could walk through here at any second. But I suppose what we should probably start to do is thank you very, very much for joining us today, this morning on our sunrise drive and tonight on our sunset drive. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on board. I know you had an extraordinary encounter with elephant with Pete, and I'm just really happy about that. We've got some great content or great footage or great experiences. What is it really about? Because it's live. This is coming to you live from the Sabi Sands in South Africa, and that's the most extraordinary thing, that we are talking to you right here, right now. What you're seeing is what's happening right now. So tomorrow morning, we'll be out bright and early. Pete and I will be up doing what we do. We'll talk to everyone tonight, have a bit of a listen. We'll listen for these lines tonight as well. Thank you to all the people on Facebook, on Twitter, everyone that's emailed in today, all those fantastic groups, Djuma Junkies, all the wonderful people on Twitter that give us all that information and interacting with you. And you are the most important thing in this. This whole delivery of Wild Safari Live is for you, and we couldn't do it without you. I always say that, folks. It's the most incredible thing. Just to give you a sensory update, I'm sitting under a lot of stars at the moment. There's a golden glow overside there, beautiful blue hue. We've been with lions, we've been with elephant, and it doesn't get much better than this. So folks, from VM and I, from everyone on board today, can't wait to see you tomorrow. Really thank you for watching, and we'll see you just now. You never know what's around the next corner.